Keep it very minimal.
Yeah.
Until it's showtime. And then just bring it out.
Open the door.
Oh,
okay.
just open the floodgates.
Okay.
Speaking of the door.
Yeah.
A few years ago, I was at my wife's Christmas party. And like any work Christmas parties, you meet a lot of interesting people. I'm just there for the vibes. Mm-hmm. If you know me, I'm not here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. But one specific person I remember was this woman who was funny. She was curious about me. Most Christmas parties, people make it about them. She was asking me about work. What do I do? And is this and da 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 da. She was making jokes throughout the night. Fun fact, about 3 months ago, I asked Gabby, whatever happened to that girl at the Christmas party? Like, I remember so-and-so, no, she was the administrator. So-and-so, she was a dietitian. So-and-so, like, what was her name? I can't remember her name, but I met her at the party. She was funny. She was like joking all night. And she was like, that was Rachel. And I said, no. I'm not talking about Rachel. But there was this other person. But remember when we were sitting on the couch and then somebody walked in and everybody just like stopped talking and it was awkward because all y'all knew like an insider joke. Who was that? She was like, that was Rachel. I said, you mean to tell me
we've been friends all along. We didn't even know.
This whole time Rachel was there that night? And I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until 2025. And this party was like in 2019.
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Maybe 2018, give or take. And I'm over here like, whatever happened to her? She was so awesome. And, we're not going to say the company's name, but they have a reputation for not always having the most awesome people. So, come to find out it was Rachel. And I never even knew for 5 years until she was like, that was Rachel. I'm like, Rachel done been on the show. We did podcasts. We've been doing all this life stuff all these years, and I never knew that was Rachel that night.
Yeah.
I used to be like, whatever happened to her? And I'm like, it makes sense. It was you all along. So back for another time, officially on YouTube this time.
I'm excited.
My friend Rachel, who's a therapist, she's everything. She's going to try to bring it down a little bit, but today we're going to try to extract it from her. I want to know what you've been up to, what you're working on. How's life?
Okay. Well, I've still been slowly working on the podcast you helped me produce.
Shout out to Like Therapy.
Yes.
Plugging it in down below.
Like Therapy. Still excited about that. Learning how to do all the little minutia involved in uploading, downloading, saving.
It's a lot.
It's a lot.
People don't know.
People
have no clue.
No, sometimes people are like, oh, well, what took so long? And I'm like, I don't even know how to describe it. But I only downloaded a file. And that's what, but I had to name the file and wait for it to download and put it in the right place.
Yep.
So, but it's, it's hard. It's interesting when you're trying to learn something new as an adult, the way your brain hurts, physically hurts. I'm like, it's like learning another language.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot of recordings this week. I try to package all my production type stuff into 1 week and then edit over time or whatever I have to do with work schedules and things. But this week has been man, I just did one interview. A few years ago, I was pumping these bad boys out.
Yeah.
It was nothing to do 4, 5, 6 in a day.
Yeah.
And then at night I'd be tired, but for the most part the next day it's let's start over again. Now, I don't know if it's just, and I know our brain is designed to conserve calories. And did you know that your brain burns more calories than a lot of other organs in your body?
Really?
Did not know that.
No.
Until recently.
Did not know.
That's why you can do a whole day of thinking and be completely exhausted. And it feels like you ran a marathon. Because your brain actively burns calories. And that's why some people who do a lot of critical thinking or a lot of reading, writing, comprehension, they don't necessarily have to work out as intense as other people just to maintain.
Interesting.
It's super interesting.
Because I have definitely had that feeling of even sometimes a really intense phone call or something.
Yes.
If it lasts more than 45 minutes, I truly feel, I've said that before. I'm like, I feel like I ran a marathon.
just ran.
Like,
Oh,
I feel like I
100%.
need to lay down.
I gotta lay down. The
Yeah.
same thing I tell my kids: go lay down. Same thing. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. But yes, it's a whole different muscle.
Yeah.
From the download, just to download the file alone. You
'Cause
better have
then
a computer.
and then you got to download it like in one way and then basically download it again to like whatever you're trying to put it on. And then inevitably it's got to be a different file or see you back in 2 hours when this is done downloading. And then by the time 2 hours passes, I'm like, I don't even remember what I was doing.
And you're supposed to stay active on other things while it's downloading. It's hit or miss.
But then that means the other thing that I'm doing, I now have a million things to do for that thing, and so now I'm switched focus.
Now it's like, hope for the best, buddy. Hope for the best. But anyways,
Yeah.
we're not.
But that's been fun and hard, and that's been good. What else has been new?
So honest.
Getting my kids situated in school is always a puzzle piece that I'm constantly trying to figure out how other people do it, because it seems like I'm missing a puzzle piece somehow, So working on that. Okay, what else? What's something exciting since I've seen you last? I did a new type of therapy training, but I know I'm supposed to be like bringing it down.
No, tell me.
Okay, I did it's not a new therapy. It's just a new training I did in this past year, which is called EMDR.
Yes, I know EMDR.
Yeah, we might have talked about it last time, but I finally did the plunge and took the training. So that's been really nice. I really like it.
Tell us about it.
It stands for eye movement desensitization reprocessing. I know. That's why we should shorten it to EMDR.
I know. I realize now. I've always heard the acronym.
Yeah. And it's really helpful for reprocessing painful experiences. And it's a really, something I like about it is really super structured, which is not like therapy. Therapy is sort of open, but this is truly like a script. There's steps. It's very contained, which I think can feel really safe when you're talking about something hard. And basically what you do is throughout the steps, as you're, thinking about the memory and then also thinking about how it affects you in the present. And different times the therapist stops you and you follow like a light or a hand, or it could be anything like a ball on the screen. And then you sort of follow it across, and your eye movements actually are sending signals to your brain that's helping you process the memory in a new way. I know it sounds made up, but I promise you it's not. It's totally research backed, and it's very fascinating.
What?
But the way, so one of the theories is that it's mimicking.
I love when Rachel talks, bro. Bro, I love when you start talking like this, Rachel. You just, Go ahead. Sorry.
You just are hyping me up so that,
Bro, okay, I'm not doing it today. I promise myself, do not cut her off a lot. Restrain.
No,
Keep
it's
it together.
good.
I promise myself, I'm going to do a better job this time.
Stop. It's good. It gives me confidence.
But you keep talking about that.
Okay. Well, it's
when I start doing this, when you see my I'm dialed in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that's good. I'm glad to know. Yeah, one of the theories is that it's mimicking REM sleep. So you know how when we're in REM sleep, our eyes are moving under our eyelids, and there's always been the thought that means we're really processing. So that's one of the ideas. The other one is just that we're learning so much more and more about how, basically starting with the body and how different we can do sort of body, like eye movements, or even things like swallowing, moving your jaw up and down, humming, send signals to your brain to either process things in a new way or switch into a different neural pathway or something. And so for instance, swallowing can send a signal to your brain that you're safe. Because if you think about it, when you're not safe, it's hard to swallow. Like you're running or you're, doing something or you're thinking. And so if you can like take a sip of water and swallow, I mean, it's not like you're going to feel better or something, but it's like one step into telling your brain, oh, okay, I must be safe. And so that's one of the thoughts behind the eye movements is not only that you're safe, but that it is like when you're looking in these different ways, your eyes are sending messages and activating your brain to just process whatever it is in a new way. And that's what we want in therapy is a new way to process it so that it's been really fascinating.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was the training like? How was it super rigorous with how many hours was this?
It's actually
and then also what did you learn kind of like about yourself through that process?
You always like to bring it back to me, Robert. No. No, I'm just kidding. I'll talk about me. The training was really great. It was, I mean, super, they've done a really good job, I think. Like they make it really distilled and informative, and it's a whole, like it's split up into parts, but it's like, a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then another Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and then you do in between, you do like I want to say it's like every 2 weeks, you do a consultation with them where you talk about how you've been practicing it, which is really helpful because I've been to trainings where you're like, okay, this is great and this is fun, and procrastination kicks in and you never use it. I've been to trainings years ago where I was like, oh, this is so good to know. And I'm like, I'll use it one day. I'll probably use it. Next month, I think I'll use it. Maybe next month I'll use it. And then you never use it. And so this one, they specifically were like, you can do this. Go out and do it. Because you're going to be consulting about it in 2 weeks. So like not only giving you kind of the confidence, because I think there are other trainings I've been to where they sort of do the opposite. Like they make it almost seem like too important or too scary. So you feel like you're going to mess it up. But I think they did the opposite, which was you can do it. And you're going to do it.
Yes.
Which for me was like, that's exactly what I need. I need to have to. Yeah. And like, and not only the accountability, but also like you're not going to mess it up.
Yeah.
You're going to do great.
That's wild. Even the fact that you think you can mess it up is kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But I get it. You're human.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's crazy. And was there any part in that training that you had to do some reflection on your own?
Yes.
Tell us about it.
So the training you have to be a client yourself. And so then another person in the training is practicing on you, basically. So
it's not scary.
I know.
It's not scary.
I know. And then you switch. So that makes it a little less scary because you're going to switch. So yeah, you pick like a charged memory and you use that memory, and it did. I think it made me, I'm trying to think what it made me think about the most. This training, I was really kind of blown away. Like I kept thinking like, oh, I love this. This is great. Whereas in other trainings in the past, I've been super, what's like a nice word for it, like bouncing off the walls. Like I can't sit still. I'm that person who's like, I would like, there was a training I did a couple years ago where I went to the back of the room and lined up chairs together and like laid down on the chairs. And I'm still watching and like kind of taking notes, but like I couldn't even like sit in the thing. And then I would like get up and stretch, and I'm like, I'm paying attention, and then I'm not. And I'm like, so that's what I was thinking about a lot. Cause I kind of had then formed the story. Like I'm not good at these things, right? You attach the story to it. Like I'm not good at paying attention, or, I'm not.
I know that one.
Right.
Very.
Like, And so then this one, it was so cool. If anyone watching this wants to take this training, DM us and we'll get you the info. But they had it in a school, and they had the high school culinary students making us homemade food. They made us homemade focaccia bread and nachos and like popcorn and donuts. And I was like, and they would bring it out. They had snack time breaks, and they would bring it out, and we'd go get like snack time. Wow. And then the training was like a little smaller, so we were like closer to the screen. And then I think it was very contained. It was very like, this is what we're gonna do in this section. This is what we're gonna do in this section. And then there was a lot of practice. And I was paying attention. I was sitting in my chair. I was learning, and I'm like, oh wow, okay. So it just, like, there are things that make me thrive. And so I just think when you said learning about myself, I'm like, oh, I think this is what I'm learning about myself, is that, I mean, who doesn't love homemade food? But like, that I think those things are more important than people realize, than I ever would have realized. Like, I didn't know at that previous training where I'm like bouncing off the walls and like barely truly jumping out of my skin, I wouldn't have thought like, oh, it's because there's no snack breaks or whatever. Or like, it's because there's not enough practicing. But in this one, I mean, we practiced every single day. Like, there was not one day where it was only lecture. I don't know. That's helpful to know, like, kind of going back to what we were talking about before, like, as an adult trying to learn new things. It's helpful to know for ourselves, too.
Oh, for sure.
Like, that these other things, these other parts of the experience matter when we're trying to learn something new or get ourselves to do something new. Or
100%.
Yeah.
It's how, like, it's learning how you learn. And I'm an activation guy. I want, like, the information, but I also want to, like, let's mimic. Let's do some run-throughs. Let's see what this is like in real-life examples.
Yeah.
And not be, cheesy, because I think that could be a little bit much sometimes.
Yeah.
And I've grown to, like, shout out to the conferences out there. This is no diss before I say this.
Yeah.
But, like, now I'm like, conference, training, workshops, seminars, webinars. I'm just like, what's the point?
I know. I'm going to go and it's going to like, it's
going to be so information
me.
heavy. And then it's going to be the moments for networking.
But even those moments, it's like everyone's kind of so brain dead.
And everyone's not your people too. That's another thing.
Yeah.
So the truth is, and I'm a guy who believes, I've been through a lot of deep work since our last conversation. We're about to get to that.
Oh, I want to hear about it.
I'm a guy who believes I can genuinely make friends with almost anybody. Now, I'm not delusional. There are some people whose pure intentions is harm.
Yeah.
They're not
trying to make a friend.
No, not at all. But for the most part.
No, I agree.
I feel like I could get her done.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot of my background, how I grew up. My parents are not from this country. Just the diversity within literally my DNA. From youth, my neighborhood, all of that. Like, so I feel like I could have a conversation with a KKK member. I kid you not.
Yeah.
And actually drink a beer, and at the end of it go like, man, it was nice to meet you.
Really?
I'm that far outside. I've calmed down. I've calmed down a lot.
That's what I want to know. Like, I want to know what would be happening inside you in that moment.
I'm genuinely curious
about
humans. Like, what
would bring you to this? Yeah.
Hopefully, I learned from you last year about thinking that we're so powerful and have so much control that we can control how other people feel. That ruined me. That ruined me.
You're welcome.
I genuinely feel like if you get to know me and I get to know you, we could actually meet in some middle ground.
Yeah.
And perhaps your stereotypical racist, ill-informed perspective could be changed just a little bit.
Yeah.
If you knew me for who I am and not just how I look. So I've always been curious about human beings. Like, for the longest, like airport watching, that's my thing. I wonder where they're going. Where are they coming from? What did they just experience? Or are they going on a vacation that they've been planning for forever?
Yeah.
Or are they going to like bury someone that they once loved? I think in stories. In my brain, I think big picture. I'm curious. I'm just curious about human beings where other people aren't.
Yeah.
So even you talking today, I am so fired up to hear from you because I think there's a part of how you make stuff just make sense. And I think we're living in a culture right now. Shout out to the therapists. I love you, especially the ones that I work with in Preoccupied. I think sometimes we make it complex. We make complex things even more complex. And you just make it make sense.
Well, thank you.
So that's why
I think not only are you good at making friends and being curious and being empathetic, but also at really like connecting with people and seeing the best in them.
Yes.
And you say it and you bring it out. And I think that's a gift too, because I think not everybody does that.
I just wish, thank you for the compliment.
Yeah.
But I just wish more people just would.
Yeah.
And I've had to learn, all right, since we're talking about it, since we did this last summer and you dropped bars, I mean, the amount of DMs, text messages, like the amount of conversations that got started because of your clips. You talked about, I don't know if you remember this. I do. We talked about millennials and change and maybe like 9/11, COVID. We talked about like the timeline from 2000 to 2023-ish, all the things that happened. Have we like just gotten used to things going bad? We talked about that. You talked about control, disappointment, the ability like not to feel, like why people don't feel things, maybe because they numb themselves from experiencing the grief. We talked about grief.
We went heavy.
And it was only like 4 or 5 clips that actually went public.
Yeah.
But I'm watching this stuff over and over because I have to edit it.
Yeah.
So that's why this time I said, we're giving them the whole thing, buddy. I'm not clipping up nothing.
I'm glad.
So like when you said, we think that we're so powerful that we can control how everyone feels. And then my brain just exploded, Rachel, because I thought this is a positive thing.
Yeah.
And you said like, if we're all out what was the example? You said if we're all plugging in right now, Robert, boom, put it in the clip. You said if we're all at a party and like someone is there and they're feeling awkward, like it's loving to want that person to not feel uncomfortable. That was the word you used, uncomfortable. Yeah. But we think that it's our intrinsic responsibility to make sure that they're not in discomfort.
Yep.
Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Because I've never looked at control like that. I only looked at control through the lens of like a dictator.
Yeah, yeah. Like I'm trying to control someone's actions or something. Yeah.
I didn't look at it from
No, it blew my mind when I learned about it too, honestly.
Like, oh my gosh. So you can be the well-intentioned person. You can be the loving person. You can be the person that everyone can rely on. Let's call so-and-so. They'll know exactly what to do. But really, it's a discomfort. I get discomforted by so-and-so's discomfort.
Yep. Yes.
So for the last year, I've been so much better at just being like I would literally not, like if I'm sitting, I would like,
but that's
open
the
up my
body
hands.
first thing. That's like, it's like, that's your signal to yourself. And I bet you when you do that, you even get that felt sense of like, okay.
Even if I'm driving and I got a bunch on my mind, sometimes I'll glance at my hand and I'm like, your hands in a fist. And I'll just like let it go. I have a habit now of like,
I love that.
And even feeling it like through my arm just to be like, dang.
Yeah.
And especially if I'm doing like projects and road trips and going back and forth to Austin, Dallas, or wherever I'm going, I'm thinking, or whether I'm listening to podcasts or music, but I'm like, I'm tight.
Yeah.
So I've really done the work to like, buddy, you're inflamed. Inflammation is coming from everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you cannot live that uptight, that tense all the time. So, and this is for well intentions. This is not like abusive words or
you're just basically trying to make sure everybody's comfortable.
Okay. Yes. Blew my mind.
Yeah.
Blew my mind, dog. And then the disappointment thing you talked about too. That's one thing that struck a nerve with some of my people. When I brought up the fact that you were coming back, but it was over. Phone ringing. phone was ringing. I was like, and I said it in passing, like, yeah, my friend Rachel's going to come. She's going to come record. She was on the first one last summer. She was like one of the first people who let me test out this whole concept and whatnot. And it was over. It was like, bruh. He went off for like 15 minutes. And I was thinking like, hey, you should probably book. You should actually like spend money at her practice to get the help that you need. But we will chat about some things. So I've been doing deep work. I've been letting go of a lot of things and not even like, and I think the hard part sometimes about walking through your healing journey as a good guy is you just compare to people who have bad intentions. Like, I'm not trying to be Hitler.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my gosh. But it's the same, it's coming from the same place that control, like that. I'm going to protect your happiness. I'm going to make you happy. I'm going to make you smile.
Yeah.
I want you to be, Rachel, it blew my mind. And the work that has began, and even it's changed relationships in a good way.
Yeah.
Because I realized like I'm 90% energy, positivity, bigging them up. And you know me, giving encouragement, giving compliments. And the moment I stopped doing that as much, I got to see things so much clearly.
Yeah. Well, you probably got to like even relax a little bit.
Yes.
Like relax yourself. And then I think the other thing that we do when we do that is like we're so outside of ourselves that we're putting the priority on our own discomfort, right? Or on our own, like, what we somewhere along the way understood as our responsibility. But it's like, then I think the more you start to do this, and then you get to spend time inside yourself. And it's like a couple things happen too. Like, oh, not only am I reminding myself that they are like resilient enough to
yes,
feel awkward, I'm also resilient enough to feel uncomfortable. And then it's so interesting when you do that, because then you're like, wait, what's even under my discomfort? Like, what do I even like? What do I want to do in this party? And it can be a trip. Right?
Right? Are you kidding me? Yes.
Because it's like,
is.
I didn't realize that all this time. Also, I was not even really in touch with myself.
Me. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm here at the party, not only because I get to see the people that I love, but I like to dance. But meanwhile, I'm off on a couch trying to make sure that my introverted friend is at the utmost comfort. And now I'm not doing the thing that I came here to do.
Yeah.
Or I'm not mingling. Like, my preference is just kind of like the spot to spot to spot. I'm going to work the room at the end of the day, but I'm kind of staying here secluded because of someone else's discomfort. That sounds like in culture, you're going to get all the likes.
Right.
You're going to get 1 million views off of being that friend. Because most people don't have that. I get that part.
And it still is. It's like,
this is the friend everyone wants.
And
it
still is. It's this beautiful part of you, you know? And
parts. We talked about part therapy too.
Yes. It's and so that's where it's like, you want to keep it, you know, you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater type of thing, which is a terrible expression. We need a new expression for that. But yeah, it's like, when are we going from like, okay, like I want to include all my friends. I want to make sure everyone's feeling like I saw them and want to spend time with them. And also, like, when is it crossing over into like, I'm actually trying to control their inner experience?
Keep talking about that, please.
I know.
That's literally
well, I think
what
that's
it.
And I love your intuitiveness about looking at your hands and letting go, because I think that's what I've been learning so much in these past couple of years, even about therapy, is like, we often can't like think our way out of these things. Mm-hmm. We have to look, like, there has to be something else, like something a signal, something more tangible, like the way you're looking at your hands and saying, okay, let go. Then your body lets go. Then literally, physiologically, things are happening inside you where then your brain can be like,
Yes.
oh, okay, I'm trying to control
safe.
their inner
Yeah,
experience.
yeah.
Rather, so it's like I love that method. Like someone taught me the method of like leaning back.
Yep.
Like I had no idea that all the time I'm on the edge of my
Yeah,
seat.
you're tight.
And it's the same thing because, right, I'm trying to show you that I'm
Body language.
locked
I'm listening.
in. So I'm on the
Yeah.
edge of my seat. I'm all the way up here. And then when I notice that, when I go back, at first it actually feels a little bit wrong. Like
Yeah, it does.
I feel a little bit like, well, I shouldn't be relaxed right now. And then when I like allow for that and go through that, I'm like, oh, right, I'm still here. And they know I'm still here. And I'm letting go. So I love that. I mean, I'm gonna use your method of looking at my hands because I bet it's the same for me too, right? Like a lot of that is coming through in our hands, and when we let that go, it's like it's this domino effect, and
sure.
we can, yeah.
And a large part of that, also, I will acknowledge, is like I had to come to grips with the fact that for a long time in my life, this sounds deeper than what it is, but I'm thinking. I had to acknowledge like that tightness is what made me get this far, to be honest. Like managing ADHD and trying to help other people with personal productivity, you've got to be tight to some degree.
Yeah.
And a part of that is like my own methodology to be like, I can't forget this. I don't want to forget this. So you tense up because if you get too loose, now it's like, huh? What was that thing? Or I forgot this, or I didn't send the project in on time, or I'm late to work. I'm like, I have to, when the thoughts are rolling, you've got to capitalize on those thoughts. Like, oh, I'm supposed to schedule this. So let me pull out my phone right now, schedule it, set the alarm, do all this other stuff until you build a stronger like personal development to where you can just do that stuff as it comes. So a large part was like, bro, this is what made me who I am. Controlling and discomfort and where am I and being so tense. Like a lot of that is like when life bucks at you, you got to buck back to some degree. You can't just fall to it. Or a lot of that is like my family is relying on me. I didn't mean to turn this into a therapy session, but my family is relying on me to do blah, blah, blah. And it has to get done. Or you know what it is to be up in the middle of the night, baby's crying, all these different challenges. And you know you've had a long day and tomorrow is not letting up to either. So there is this element of like,
I need that.
we've got to buck down, and on Saturday I can get a break.
Right.
Or Sunday we can just sleep in, do whatever, or the kids will go to grandparents. But when you don't have that, and you don't have an option, you don't have a plan B, and it's up to you to somehow get that thing done, there is this element of like, man, you got to kind of put up or shut up right now. And it sucks. And you got to, it's almost like we're not trying to thrive right now. We're just trying to survive.
Yes.
We're going to get to thriving a little bit later. But like in order to get there, man, there's so many scars that you bring with you along the road. So little things like tensing up my hands, I've been doing that since I was probably 15.
Yes. Probably even younger.
Probably even younger.
Yeah.
Now that I'm actually paying attention to it. And I feel it. Like I feel it straight through my forearm. I feel it everywhere. Or my shoulders, like all tense. Now I'm learning like, I foam roll, do all the stretches.
Like when previously, you can't, right? When you're in that survival mode or you need to be surviving.
Yeah.
That's what you got to do. And so then it's like now like, oh, okay, how do I honor this thing that
Yes.
that made me survive or helped me survive? And then now how do I like know that it's okay to let it go and it's okay to thrive? And then like you said, it's more of now like going in and out of it. Like there are definitely times when I like all those examples you just shared, like when okay, there's no let up here. I do have to, tense up and do this, or, even if it's like set down all my coping skills and just get through this the way I know how. And then how do we how do we make sure we get back out of it.
Yeah.
You
That's
know,
the hard part.
go in between those
Yep.
two things.
That's the hard part. And I think that's a challenge for a lot of people. But anyways, enough about me.
Never. I want more. Tell me more.
To you.
No.
And while we're here, I would love to get your insight on 2-3-ish topics from the callers who have sent in. You know you are legit at this when people heard she's coming and said, please have her answer this question for me. You know, this is all real. I'm not going to tag the person. I'm not going to say your name. But you know it's legit when people say, brother, it's me. Help me. So Rachel has a few questions from the viewers from off of 3 clips. When you have 3 clips with 1,000-ish views or something like that, it's not like this thing went viral. When you put stuff that clear and concise and you make it make sense, the people want to know. All right. Question number 1. This is around the subject of disappointment.
I'm just like glowing. I'm just like, you know what I'm doing? I'm telling myself right now, I'm like, take it in. Take it in, right?
It's so funny.
I'm just like, you know, I'm going to take it in.
I didn't make this up. Why do some people shut down completely after a big disappointment while others seem to bounce back and grow from it? What's the difference? Why do some people shut down completely after a big disappointment while others seem to bounce back and grow from it?
The first thing that comes to my mind is, of course, that it depends.
Lots of variables.
Of course, yes. Like, we'd need to know so much more. In general, my guess would be if you're shutting down after disappointment, it's due to painful life experiences that have taught you that disappointment is the end of the world. And that you need to shut down to survive. Yeah. Or it might even be sometimes like when those shut down would be typically like a defense mechanism or a protective mechanism that is taking us into survival mode like we were talking about. So sometimes it's painful experiences that have taught that. Or sometimes it's even repeated, consistent cultural messaging. Mm-hmm. If you are a disappointment, that's the worst thing you could be. And there's no coming back from that. So like a lot of, you know, maybe if they're in a subculture or honestly, like our culture we all live in, just even if we could even probably take it to like capitalism and things like that. But I think also other cultures of like, it is your responsibility to make everyone proud. It is your responsibility to always be good. It is your responsibility to like, you know, like, so maybe they're feeling like, well, like, I think sometimes this happens to people who have been typically successful and not had to deal with maybe disappointment. And so then they sort of get more and more and more fearful. Like, well, this hasn't happened to me, so I probably can't handle it if it does. If I feel disappointed, maybe I'm also feeling the other person's disappointment. So now I'm feeling both our disappointments. That's too much. Got to shut down. Shut down is usually like the result of overwhelm. Like the system has just fried. Mm-hmm. Whereas I think maybe people that are more resilient with it have something in them that says, I can feel disappointed or I can disappoint someone else and I'll still be okay. It's still okay. Which would usually come from like if the first one comes from painful experiences, the second one would come from like, you know, positive experiences or resilient experiences. So I think I think that would be the in general answer of like why it's happening. And I think disappointment, so we're talking about like when the person feels disappointed. I think that can sometimes be like a really acute feeling. I must have let someone down is usually disappointment. And that can go straight to our survival mechanisms, right? Like even if we think back to, some people call it like the lizard brain, like the back of our brain. That's like our most unevolved brain. That's what, we are still living with from, the ice age or whatever. If we think about what we needed to survive back then, it was to find our place in the tribe, to be in the tribe. And so if I'm disappointed, then maybe that means I did not find my place in the tribe. And so I'm straight back into like I did not achieve something, or I disappointed someone else, so I might get kicked out of the tribe. So when we go back into that part of our brains, that's where things like shut down or push away or other types of things come from, because it does feel like maybe to them the end of the world, essentially.
Do you think like people who are constantly under pressure, survival, insecurity, and not just like appearance, but whether it's food insecurity, financial insecurity, don't feel safe where they live, are they more likely to experience disappointment where it's crushing?
Yeah, I think so. Absolutely. Because that's like a threshold thing too. I'm already up here. I'm already stressed out. I'm already, all these things that you mentioned, those are all straight survival, and so you're already in survival mode. And so then if something, I think,
tire gets flat.
yeah, like that can absolutely just be the thing that makes the threshold overflow. That's the overwhelm. That's the like internally systems are overwhelmed, and so they're shutting down. And yeah, I think it can also be why it makes it feel like the stakes are so much higher.
Yeah.
Like if I'm disappointed, but I sort of know that everything's okay. I know that like I recently heard on an interview, now I can't remember who it was, but someone was describing privilege, and they were describing it as like, I know I have privilege because ultimately I always know there is a floor I can't fall through. I can't. And that's a good definition of privilege. And so if someone knows that, then maybe disappointment doesn't feel as scary, because it feels like, well, ultimately I'm not going to fall through this floor. Whereas if someone's worried about money, worried about racism, worried about, the area they live in, whatever it may be, then maybe they don't. To them, that they could fall through that floor. And so disappointment feels 10 times scarier. Shutdown usually happens, like that's one of those things that can happen so automatically too, which I think is why it's really hard to combat, because it's sort of happened before you even realize it's happened.
That is such a good. I gotta try to figure out where you saw that at.
I know. I'm sure it'll come to me like right after we're done here.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Next question.
Yeah.
From the audience for Rachel Hubbard. By the way, plug your website.
Rachel.
Are you open for more clients? You be pushing it. So before.
I'm on a wait list, but don't hesitate to, still contact or check me out, and I'll refer you to lots of therapists who I love. But my website is rachelhubbardlcsw.com.
Bingo. I like it. All right, next question. Why is it so hard for some people to hear "you hurt me" without immediately making it about themselves? And what should a partner do when they keep hitting that wall?
Okay, so the first part of the question is, why is it so hard for some people to hear "you hurt me" without making it about themselves? For many people, again, who probably have had some sort of, whether it's an experience or like a story that was told to them, it probably goes into a really black or white place of like, I'm trying to think of how to explain it clearly. Like it goes into, if I say you hurt me and you have this maybe this story or this black or white way of thinking, then you might think, well, then that means I'm a bad person because bad people hurt people, right? So like if I say you hurt me and you've got this, what's it called? There's a word for when we put things in categories. You've got this like schema where in your mind there's this framework. Bad people hurt people. And so if I say that, then it goes into that part of your brain and you think, well, that means I'm a bad person. He or she or they are calling me a bad person. Or I know they're not doing that, but it doesn't matter because it's still going into that part in my brain. So if it's going into that part of my brain, the part of my brain that's saying I'm a bad person because I hurt them, then I have to defend myself. So I got to make it about me. In order to defend myself internally, I've got to prove, well, I'm not a bad person, but it comes out as, well, I didn't hurt you because or, well, I only hurt you because this and this, or I wasn't trying to hurt you. This is what I was trying to do. Whereas like shame essentially is what it is. Like when we have these black or white, schema is not the right word I'm thinking of, but it's close enough. We're attaching it to that means, right? It's like a limiting, maybe another way to say it would be like a limiting core belief. This limiting core belief would be, I'm a bad person if I X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
And so, and again, it kind of sounds good, right? Like if maybe someone said it, you might say it to a kid like, well, don't hurt people. But like, right? It sounds fine.
Or bad people do that. This is what bad kids do.
Yeah, something like that. And so then, but then it's like it becomes this really limiting belief of like, so that way, if I have that, then automatically what I think if someone's said that I hurt them, that I'm bad.
Dear God.
Freak out, right?
We're going back into my childhood again.
Right.
This was not about me. This is a question that someone asked, and I'm literally going back to when I was 5.
Yeah. And so what we have to do in those moments in order to not make it about us is first tell ourselves, it's not that black or white. Good people hurt other people sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe if you wanted to, if you really struggle with like good or bad or black or white, like you might even take it further and try to get out of that and just say like, oh, this is a strategy I like for a lot of things, including control, is I don't have to decide that right now. So like if you find yourself thinking like, oh, well, they're calling me bad, they're saying I hurt them, I don't have to decide that right now. Because if you don't have to decide that right now, you can step outside of the whole battle inside your brain and just say, okay, tell me more. What do you mean? How did I hurt you? What, that's would be making it about them, right? Like, what are you feeling hurt about? And then you can kind of go back later and process and say, okay, even if I still have this belief, maybe that means I'm bad or they're calling me bad. If I don't have to decide that right now, I can give myself some time to act appropriately in the moment. But then I can also come back and do that longer work of like, I can be a good person who sometimes hurts people. Like instead of like shame would be I am, right? Because I've done this thing, I am bad. Whereas like maybe another emotion like embarrassment or guilt or like hurt or even anger or something.
Anger is huge.
It's a little bit more adaptive. It still makes you feel bad, but you have a little bit more room to be like, all right, I don't have to convince myself that I didn't hurt them because actually I'm allowed to hurt them and still be who I think of myself as.
That's crazy. Back to Robert's childhood, everybody. This question was not for me, but that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
Good people do bad things too.
Yeah.
But when we self-identify and we get it ingrained that like I'm a good person. I don't do that. So when I hurt you, that hurts me.
Yeah. And when someone tells you you hurt them, then it's like, now all of a sudden it's threatening like a core thing you know about yourself or believe about yourself when it doesn't have to. What they're saying is, you do this thing and now I feel hurt.
Which goes back to what we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
This is the good guy syndrome. This
Right.
is the problem with, or not with, but like
Yeah.
this is a problem amongst the people who genuinely care about people, but you kind of get sucked into the vortex too.
Yes.
And
Then, because then that means I can never hurt
I
anyone.
can never hurt anyone.
Never. Yes.
And you,
It becomes this black or white.
man, this goes back to my nonprofit leader friends, like the good guy syndrome right there.
Yeah.
Where I'm gonna champion this cause.
Yeah.
We're gonna die for it if need be.
Yeah.
We're gonna let these people know that they're seen, valued, loved, and cared for, even if it's detrimental to my own well-being.
Yeah.
And like that story, that's just as toxic as people who intentionally do bad things.
Yeah. And there's usually like often a fear there. I actually just heard this from a therapist who has a podcast that I love that everyone should check out, Esther Perel. But she said something. I'm glad you made that connection of like the good person syndrome. But it's like a lot of times when we're giving too much, there's also like a deeper fear going on. Like basically the question to ask yourself is like, if I stop, what happens? And yeah.
Oh, I'm moving on. I'm running out of time.
Oh, but I didn't answer what should the partner do?
Yes. Oh, yeah. And what should the partner do when they keep hitting that wall?
There again depends. It depends on how long maybe the wall has been going on. But I would say one thing you could try is doing the reframe of your wording, like helping the other person not feel so defensive. So I feel hurt. I felt hurt when you did this, rather than you hurt me.
Yeah.
Because then it's maybe a little bit easier for the other person not to immediately go into that whole internal battle. If you say, I felt hurt when you, it's not, it doesn't mean they're not going to get defensive, but it provides a little bit of distance because it's more, you're already saying, this is me. I felt hurt.
Yeah. Versus you did.
When you did this thing, when you blah, blah, blah. That's what hurt me, not you hurting me. So that could be one idea. Well, I'll leave that one there. I think that's a good starting place. Yeah.
Okay. This was a big one. This question came with a lot of intensity behind it. What do you say to people who use emotional responses like crying, shutting down, or saying, I'm just a bad person as a way to avoid the real conversation? Is that manipulation or something else?
Often it is manipulation. Yeah, they often don't know it, is what I would say. Like some people that are doing that, they know what they're doing. Lots of times I think they don't. You know, they don't consciously know they're trying to manipulate the situation, but they know that it's going to change the course of the conversation. So manipulation is, it's a charged word, but yeah, ultimately, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to control where the conversation goes. It's a form of shutdown, or it can be a form of shutdown, because also what it's saying when someone's doing that and they're doing it often, what they're saying is like, and again, sometimes it's not conscious, but it's like, don't make me change is the message that they're sending. Because if they're crying, the message they're sending is, I'm too hurt. Don't make me change right now. If they're saying, I'm just a bad person, it's, I'm just a bad person. Don't make me change. I'm just a bad person. The messaging that underlying is, don't make me change. I can't handle it.
Keep talking.
And so like, so yeah, they're often trying to knowingly or unknowingly shut down the conversation. Yeah, they are trying to avoid the real thing that you might be telling them. And it is fair to say that that's, you know, whatever word they can hear about it, it's saying like ultimately any of these things is just avoiding the change that needs to happen here.
But why do people do that? Can they, or is it too uncomfortable to even start the process of changing? Tell me more about that.
It depends on, I think, the situation and the person and what they've been through. But often I think it would go back to that same, it's similar actually, I think, to the question of like, why can't they handle disappointment? It would be a similar thing. Like this one would probably be someone who cannot handle whatever feeling they're having. So like maybe the feeling they're having is they hurt you, or, you know, they did this thing again that they know they shouldn't have done. And so it's this method of experiential avoidance, which I might have talked about last time.
Oh, talk about it.
But basically meaning like that inner experience I'm going to avoid for myself. Not only am I going to avoid this conversation, but I'm going to avoid for myself the feeling that I'm having. So like if you tell me that you hurt me and I start crying and I just say like, well, I'm just a bad person. What I'm doing is not only avoiding the conversation with you, but I'm avoiding the inner feeling that I might be having of guilt, shame, embarrassment. And so I'm also avoiding my own feeling by doing that. It's like a full, it's an outward avoid, inward avoid. It's a full stop. And then it's that underlying message is like, I'm signaling to you that for whatever reason it is, whether it's because I'm hurting or whatever, or angry, that like I'm not going to change this thing. It's rough.
That's really rough. Yeah. Oh my.
So like what if there's a person watching that does do this, something that you can do actually is the body first thing we were talking about is like let's say you tend to go for the like, well, I'm just a bad person. Notice what your body posture is when you do it. Like, is your body posture like, well, I'm just a bad person? Then maybe the next time it happens, you have the urge and you can kind of feel it coming, like kind of go like this. You know, like sit up, be seen.
Yeah.
Breathe. And then see if you can, because a lot of times these are deeply ingrained too.
Absolutely.
And often probably maybe the person that's doing this once again had some sort of message or story put upon them, or that they absorbed at some point in their life of like, I can't change or I can't experience this feeling. You might even say to yourself like, I'm noticing myself feeling embarrassed. That would be a huge win. Mm-hmm. Even if you're not doing anything, changing anything.
That's good, Rachel.
Because you're not even acknowledging it. You're just saying, I'm noticing myself feeling this feeling. And then that automatically means, hey, you're not avoiding your inner experience anymore. That's a huge step. And it's a huge step to the other person to like say like, okay, something new's happening here. Mm-hmm. And maybe then they can even say like, hey, yeah, I can get why you'd feel embarrassed. I'd feel embarrassed too. I mean, that would be like the ideal. But
yeah, there's an opportunity for empathy.
Yeah.
Beyond the frustration that you may feel as the other person. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And these are like, so I know age doesn't equal maturity by no means, especially emotional maturity. But like for the millennials who maybe their parents are acting like this, mm-hmm. or their spouses are acting like this, all of which would be like 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years old and still acting like this, what would you say to that person who's like on the receiving end of a person who responds like this, where they just shut down or they're crying, they throw tantrums, adult tantrums are a real thing.
Yep.
And it's interesting.
Oh,
I understand that they're complicated, but I also kind of don't want to be around it.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Right.
Let alone what you're gonna do.
Well, yeah, and I think these ones are particularly hard because you do recognize after a certain amount of time, you do start to recognize like, oh, I'm being manipulated. This situation is being manipulated, and this is exactly how it's gonna go. This one depends. I mean, I think you could always tell the person, when you do this, it controls. You might say control, that might feel less scary to the person than manipulated, but like when you start crying or say I'm just a bad person or start having a tantrum, you might even say the word tantrum. It controls the conversation and it only goes your way. Or it controls the conversation and I get left out of it. Maybe that one would be a better one. So try telling them using that same framework of like, when you blank, I feel blank. When you blank, I notice blank. What would it take to shift? What would it take for you to shift from I'm just a bad person to I need a minute? Or what, anything like, you could potentially, depending on how close you are to them and how much like of your own capacity you have, you could kind of give them an idea. What would it take you to shift from this to this? Or it could also be this one may also be a good opportunity to say like, what can I do? I can't control them. I can't control their change. If they're still doing this at this age, it's very likely that it's super deeply ingrained. So it would be like, what can I do differently? So it might be like when the first time they say this thing or do whatever, I forget what the other example was in there, but then I just say, okay, I'm going to let you feel that feeling. I'm going home.
Yeah.
Call me when you're ready.
Dang.
So that would be the like, I'm going to let you feel that. I'm not going to engage. I don't have to engage in that. It's not my job to engage in that.
Wow.
You call me when you're ready.
That's hard for a good guy.
Exactly.
Back to the good guy syndrome.
It is.
That feels unloving.
Yes.
But that's a part of the manipulation cycle too,
Yes.
though, because you make me feel like I'm not doing.
Yes.
I wasn't there for you.
It's often like, especially the crying one. That is the signal. Now you have to come comfort me. And I know that because you're a good guy. So it is uncomfortable for the other person to say, yeah, I'm going to let you feel that. That's not my job. And I'm allowed to go home here. I'm allowed to not do this.
But what for part B of that same thing? For the partner on the receiving end of all of this, who feels exhausted and like they're talking to a brick wall, what should they do before they reach the breaking point? So for the partner on the receiving end of this, who feels exhausted and like they're talking to a brick wall, what should they do before they reach the breaking point?
So maybe, some like larger things would be like asking your partner to go to couples therapy. Finding a good couples therapist who knows what's happening. Try out, maybe even write out for yourself these methods of like, okay, when they start doing this, what am I going to do? And write out a few options for yourself. I'm going to say, all right, I'm going to let you have that reaction. I'm going to go take a shower. When you're ready, I'm open ears. Write some out, and then write out some other different options, especially if this makes you feel unloving or like you're leaving them or something. Write out some different ones. Like, okay, I hear that you're saying that you're a bad person again. And when that happens, the conversation goes nowhere. So I'm going to, go whatever. I'm going to remove myself from this until you're ready. So I would say try out your boundaries. Try those ones
good.
out for yourself. See how they feel. See how they work. Does the other person respond? It depends on how open the other person is. Like,
For sure.
if the other person's open, maybe even it might be after the fact, like saying like, are you willing to, when you start saying I'm a bad person,
Wanting versus willing. You talked about that.
yeah, saying,
Yeah, talk about that again.
are you willing, asking them, are you willing to try even any, like when you say I'm a bad person, are you willing to let me say, hey, you said the thing again. Let's take a 10-minute break. Like, are you willing to take that 10-minute break? Or are you willing to say, instead of saying, well, I'm just a bad person, are you willing to say, I feel like a bad person? And if they're willing to like shift at all, say, okay, great, let's try that out. And then notice it. And then when they shift, say, oh, thank you for shifting. Like, I'm still mad, but thank you for shifting. I'm noticing it. So asking them what they're willing to do, even if it's a really small shift to the partner, it might feel like a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you talk about want versus willing in
Want
that
versus
example?
willing. Yeah.
That's huge.
I think it's so huge because in this example in particular, because what this person is doing very likely is coming from like a deeper scared place. They're scared of change, most likely.
See, I've never thought about that like that. Throwing a temper tantrum.
It means
Crying,
don't make me
shutting
change.
down.
That's the signal that's sending.
Don't make me change.
Don't make me change. Or
That's
I'm not
crazy.
I'm not ready to change. I can't change. Yeah.
That's literally rewiring how I view these things now.
Yeah.
It's a threat to them changing.
Yeah.
Not they're oh my gosh, bro, that's crazy.
And so it would have to be willing versus want because most likely they're not going to want. Nobody wants to change.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true. But in those moments, you don't want to. You don't want to feel the feeling you're having. So it has to be like, are you willing?
Oh my gosh. Okay, explain want versus willing. Big picture.
Big picture want versus willing. You know what comes to mind when I think big picture of want versus willing is values. So like I want to just go home and go to sleep and like ignore all my responsibilities today. That's what I want to do. If I were to do what I wanted to do, that would be what I want to do. And then I go back to like, okay, what are my, and this is like a fun thing, if anyone just wants to, finding out what your core values are just for yourself. You know, look at a values list and pick out like your top 5 or 10 that stick out to you and then keep those, like put them somewhere. And those are your 5. Like, so, you know, if one of my 5 is creativity, then I touch base with, okay, what are my values? Okay, if one of my values is creativity, then I'm willing to do anything to support that value. So I'm going to go do what I need to do today. Because work is ultimately creative. So I think it's the same thing when we're talking about change. Like you said, sometimes when we change, especially when you're changing like the good guy, the good person one, it feels wrong. It feels uncomfortable. You feel like does this mean I'm bad, right? Like nothing about it is feeling good. So we're not wanting to do it. I don't necessarily want to stop trying to make sure nobody feels awkward because then I feel awkward.
Yeah.
So I don't want to do that. But if my value is genuineness, then I'm willing to move forward to that. Or if my value is connection, I'm willing to do it because it means I'm willing to let them, hey, actually, like, wouldn't the more loving thing to do being like, I'm going to let them feel awkward because I know they're going to be okay and I accept them anyway. And I'm going to let myself feel awkward because I know I'm going to be okay and accept me anyway.
It's that part though, Rachel.
Yeah.
Love them and accept them anyway.
Yeah.
The underlying theme of everything we talked about today, like the scary part for the good guy is they don't know that they're going to be loved and accepted anyway. Like when we talked about disappointment,
Yeah.
you said like the mindset to a degree should be like, it's not the end of the world. But when you feel that rush of disappointment, it is the end of the world.
It's so acute. I think embarrassment is really acute. Like I read something once that said like humans will do almost anything to avoid embarrassment. And you wouldn't think that it would be that one, right? You'd think it'd be like sadness or, one of the others, but it's actually embarrassment.
That's crazy.
That one is so acute. It feels like a balloon's exploding inside you. And I think disappointment feels like that too. It feels like a flood inside you or something.
Wow.
So it often comes back to want versus willing. Like I remember where I learned this actually was kind of in a different context. Like I was leading groups and I would always ask like, who wants to share? Nobody wants to share. And so the trainer that was training me was like, switch that wording to like, who's willing to share. And the minute I did that, people started sharing.
Wow.
And then, but it's because, and that's like a, teaching tactic or whatever, but it's also like what it's doing is because it's asking a totally different question really is, I don't want to share. No, I want to go take a nap. But I'm here because I'm willing to try to practice mindfulness or whatever.
Yeah.
And so if you're asking me if I'm willing to share, then I have to check in with my value, which is growth.
Yeah.
And if I'm going to move towards growth, then I'm willing to share. Yeah. So I think asking a partner that, like, are you willing to shift this? It's a different question than like, do you want to? Do you want things to change?
Do you want, yeah.
Maybe they don't.
Yeah.
And not because they don't, but because they're too scared.
One of the big things, it's interesting that you said that about embarrassment. One of the big things I learned like through public speaking or learning how to be better. Yeah. And like the whole statistic on like how people are like
would rather die.
Yeah, deathly afraid of public speaking.
I think that's where I read the embarrassment thing. Yeah.
And like the underlying thing behind the fear of public speaking is the fear of being embarrassed. Mm-hmm. Not what am I going to say? Am I going to say it wrong? Or how am I dressed? Or what do I look like? Or what if people think I'm ugly? The embarrassment of public speaking.
Yeah.
Associate that is mind-boggling.
Well, and if we think about like, okay, let's go back to that partner example. If that or parent or whoever's doing this with whoever you're in relationship with that's doing this, if they pretty consistently for 20 years have been leaning on this, it's actually highly embarrassing to change. If I have been doing something for 20 years, when someone gets mad at me or tells me something that hurt them and I start going off and doing my whole thing, if I've been doing that for that long and now you want me to change that, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
What do I do? That's actually really embarrassing. Yeah. Am I supposed to look at you? Am I supposed to not look at you? Am I supposed to hug you? Am I supposed to not hug you?
Yeah.
Then all the options are open and I'm embarrassed.
Man, that makes sense.
Embarrassment is actually like it's a culprit. I shouldn't call it. It's an emotion like anything else.
No, it is.
But it's a culprit behind a lot of things that we don't expect.
Yeah. And I think growing up in a Caribbean family, we ain't got time for your embarrassment, brother.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for you to be embarrassed. Do the thing, get out the way, shut your mouth, and go. Yeah. And that's just a lot of like foreign families in general. Like there's a whole different set of values when it comes that we're not talking about. But eventually you got to do the work. Eventually this is going to come back up sooner or later. And then you got to be willing enough to make the adjustments. But I've never filtered emotional responses like crying, shutting down, screaming, yelling, or running out as, I know manipulation theme, but I never thought about it like how you said, like, they don't want to change. Like, you're asking me to do something that's not only difficult, I don't want to do it, but it's scary.
It's scary.
That's hard for me to understand.
It's embarrassing.
To me, it's like, or the way I grew up, rather, like, do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like, if I have to go through the embarrassment, if I have to go through the pain, the people making fun of me, whatever, to be better, I'm going to do it. A lot of that is athlete mentality. By the way, Rachel, you didn't tell me you went to U of H to play soccer.
Swimming.
So what, you didn't tell me.
Yeah, that's how I ended up here. I
did
went
not
to U
know
of H
that.
to be on the swim team.
You were a
know.
collegiate athlete.
Yes.
And you downplay it a whole lot. We're going to save that for another one.
But also, I didn't know your family was Caribbean. Mm-hmm. That's the first time you told me that.
Sorry.
So we got to have a whole nother podcast.
I know we do. Thank you for answering my questions. I want
Thank
to
you.
ask you some random questions and then get you out of here. There's got to be something, Rachel. Because I know a lot of homies would benefit from hearing this, but it would be a setting like nothing you've ever been to, probably. A bunch of former players is a different room to be in.
But I could put my athlete hat back on.
No, don't. No, don't. Just be you. Just do what you do. Yeah. But I think you make people disarm. You have a unique, like, it's okay to be here right now type of approach, and I think that's necessary.
Robert, you're gonna make me cry.
This is not, as the young people have told me, cap. This is no cap. Well, I would say no lie. They say no cap. This is not cap. And I could think about so many friends on things like, no, it's not supposed to be like that. But I think you just have a way of making it. I don't know. I need to put something together. Okay, here we go. Okay. I got some specific questions for you, but I think I'm going to go to the old ones because I kind of want to know your opinion on this.
Okay.
Overrated or underrated? Getting 8 hours of sleep each night.
Underrated.
Why?
Because I want 8 hours plus. I want 10 hours of sleep each night.
Would you sleep straight through?
Oh, probably.
See, I can't. I would love to. I'd love to, but I'm rolling around, this and that. Wake up super early.
I just got a book recommendation from a friend who she said it changed her life about sleep.
Really?
Yes. Should I look it up now or should I send it to you? Yeah. She sent it to me and she said it literally changed her life. I haven't read it yet, but basically she told me this.
I'm always looking for
that, like, you know how typically, okay, it's called Set It and Forget It. Are you ready to transform your sleep? I'll send it to you. Talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
But underrated. I want more sleep.
All right, next one. Overrated or underrated? Appetizers before the main entree.
I'm going to say underrated because I want appetizers like all the time. The appetizers are, sometimes I'm like the person that wants to order like all the appetizers as the entree. I love appetizers.
Really?
Yes. I love an appetizer. Appetizers are so good.
Would you rather not finish your main entree because you chose?
No, because the appetizers are so good.
But what if you don't? Okay.
Can I tell you something controversial?
Sure. Absolutely.
What if everyone hates me because of this?
They won't.
I also like sides better than the main course. Like when I go to a barbecue restaurant, I'm like, give me all the sides. Like whatever, put the meat on the plate. But like I want the fried okra, the mac and cheese, the green beans, the beans. Like that's what I'm there for. I want the sides. I'm like, I have to order one of the, Am I about to get canceled?
Do you know what state you live in?
I know. But the sides are so good.
This is
And I feel that way about appetizers too. I'm like, what am I doing? I'm waiting for this entree. Let me just have 4 of these appetizers.
Okay. I'm not even going to give my opinion. I'm going to let the comments give their opinion. I'm just saying 8, 10, 12 hours of smoking protein meats. And
but have you had that mac and cheese?
Yes. It's glorious. So don't get me wrong. Shout out to the Pit Room, my favorite place.
I work right by the Pit Room. I like Gatlin's.
Oh, yeah. You are right there.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Gatlin's. That's over there by you. I don't know. Maybe we'll move back over there. If they drop the prices on something. Okay. Yeah. This or that.
Okay.
You can only pick one.
I'm excited.
You can't say both, and you cannot say neither.
Okay.
This or that. Walk into a room and forget why you're there. Or open your phone and forget which app you were looking for.
Forget which app I was looking for.
Why not walk into a room?
Because I probably need to put my phone down anyways.
Embarrassment? You fear embarrassment? Back to the embarrassment thing?
Yeah, probably something like that.
Okay. This or that. Accidentally join a Zoom meeting with your camera on.
I'm already like, no.
Or accidentally like someone's post from 3 months ago.
Accidentally like someone's post from 3 months ago.
What?
Yeah, I don't want to join a Zoom meeting with my camera on. I don't know who's in there.
Really?
Yeah. Ultimately, if I like someone's post from 3 months ago, it just means, I'm giving them a compliment. I was looking at their post.
But for 3 months? Well, you're okay. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't want to do it to an ex-boyfriend or something, but...
Well, I mean, that was the original question.
Oh.
I didn't want to go there.
I mean, honestly, you know what I'll say? I would even still pick that. Because, whatever. Let them know I was looking at their post.
That's a whole thing amongst the Gen Zs.
The Gen Zs do not like it.
Accidentally liking? Liking it all, honestly.
I know.
Honestly, they consume content. You don't have to know I was here.
Yeah.
Let the algorithm know that I was here.
Yeah.
But you will never comment, never. People under 30, not going to happen.
I know.
It's okay. Well, shout out to you. Last one. Only communicating through memes for a week or using highly professional LinkedIn language for a week.
Only communicating through memes for a
You
week.
think you could get by doing that?
Yeah. Yeah. It'd be fun.
No way, Rachel.
You want me saying yes, I will circle back to you while we look
Corporate,
for the
yeah,
bottom line
yeah.
and no.
Let's build this plane while we fly it.
Yeah.
Let's
no.
hit our KPIs.
Can't do it.
What?
Also, I've never worked in corporate, so I'd have to make so much of it up.
So much effort.
Yeah.
The memes would drain. It'd be fun at first. For the first.
Agreed. I'm sure it'd be fun at first, and then I'd be I'd probably start being a perfectionist about it and be like, no, that's not the right meme. I need this other. And then I'd be sitting there for hours looking for the right
You know
meme.
how much work that is?
Yeah.
Or you could just use jargon.
That's true. And maybe the jargon would be fun too. Okay, maybe I'll change my answer. I'll do some corporate lingo jargon.
I'll just do corporate. Sincerely, Robert.
You could just use
Take
AI
care.
for it.
ChatGPT, help me out. All right. That's a wrap.
As usual, I don't want this to end. I could go for another hour.
Don't. Oh, no, you got to go.
I
You
know.
actually have to go.
I
So,
do.
no, we can't go for another hour because I
Yeah.
really would like to. Let's remind people of where they can find you.
They can find me,
You
Rachel.
done stirred up all kind of conversations again.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get the help prepared. If for whatever reason you're in those scenarios we talked about today and you're in Texas, I think Rachel will be a fantastic resource to help you. And she's going to tell you where you can find her now.
Rachel Hubbard, lcsw.com.
And press what button? Discovery.
Yeah. I think it says contact. Yeah. Contact.
That's what she thinks.
You'll find everything you need on that website.
Done. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Rachel, you have done it again. You have done it again.
Robert, this is so fun.
You have done it again.
I think we need a podcast, or we need to get back on our original podcast.
I think we need an event.